Hey everybody, and welcome back to the farm and the shop. Worked on the barn last weekend. Got the roof on about half of it. Today we're going to start tearing the other side down, the rafters, to show you what the roof looks like on this side. As you can see, we reused old tin. We put some new tin here, and then we reused some of this old tin off the other side. So some of this was from this side, some of it was from the other side, but we ended up using all the old tin that was on the barn that was usable. Got one sheet here that we cut, and so it's usable. Some of this other ain't usable. We got two 21-foot long new pieces there that we can make at least two normal pieces and two pieces. So what we did, like right over here, I don't know if you can see, we pieced it because some of these was too short. So we just there was a couple of sheets there that we just put about 3 foot at the bottom and then overlap the top of it. It works. I mean, of course the new tin looks funny with the old tin, but in a year or two you won't ever be able to tell the difference. I will have to straighten out the top of these doors. I'm gonna just go from this corner over straight and take out the top, and so the top will be fixed like the other side there, and we'll just have the doors even with the top of the post basically. Because right now this roof is lower than the old roof, and I don't have a barge rafter up here, so once I put a barge rafter up here, this door is going to be too tall. So that's the problem. It would be nice to keep it like it is, but I think that will be plenty high enough. That's about 8 foot right there. I'll say it's pretty close to being 8 foot. It may be 7.5, but it's pretty close. I'm looking dead, like even I even here. And I'm almost 6 foot, so that's pretty close to 8 foot. We took the roof off in here, and of course it rained all week and burnt this countertop. It is shot. But all this will have to come out. I won't be putting this counter back in here anyway. I'm gonna just use my toolboxes and build a countertop across the toolboxes. And of course the air compressor won't be going back in here. Really gonna have pretty simple lighting in here. I'm just gonna have one switch that's gonna have lights down the center, and I'm gonna have a couple of outlets, and I'm gonna put an outlet down here towards the end to power this gate charger, the gate up here. Right now I've just got it on extension cord right there. So we may have to extend that line. That I may have to actually rerun that wire. I don't think it's long enough to reach all the way down to this corner. As far as the pit goes, I think I'm just going to pretty much leave it in place. What I'm thinking is I'm going to leave this main section. I may tear out the firebox, because as you can see it's already pretty cracked. The mortar's gone on it. Shouldn't be a big deal to take that out. Give me a little bit more room in here. But this is I'm thinking about this, and I really don't have a good place to put it. And plus I need somewhere I can store that rotisserie that's sitting right there rusting, and these baskets right over here. So I'm thinking I'm just going to lay that rotisserie back in here. I'm not going to bolt it up. I'm just going to lay it right on that. Put the baskets in here. And I'm going to start probably about this block right here. And just take it out. Like take this one out, and this one out. And the bottom one there. I do want to save this heavy metal top here. That's probably 1/4 inch thick. It's going to be quite heavy to get off there. But you can see it's right now, it's just a catch-all. And yeah, we don't really need it. Just gonna prop it up somewhere out of the way. That was fun getting up here on top of this roof and taking that roof off. I was a little bit nervous about it. I didn't get on the edge over here, but of course I had to kind of lay across there and got it. This actually was pretty sturdy over here. Of course it's got a 2x6 holding it up. But all that's got to come off, and I'm gonna go ahead and take off this plywood. As you can see, the water's damaged it already. But we got to see what kind of damage is over there in that corner. I am quite afraid we're gonna have to replace this pole. I don't know if the pole's actually moved though, to be honest with you. The pole is here. But I don't know why that's a big gap up there, unless that corner's tore away from the pole. That may be the issue. I can see there really ain't nothing holding this plywood. I think this whole wall shifted out right here, because this was nailed to it. So that's probably the problem, is that walls just turned loose. It looks like that pole is good, thankfully. I really didn't want to have to replace any more posts. You can see the way they had this stuff done. I mean, that ain't the way I would build stuff, putting big blocks on top of posts for, you know, to get the sill plate, top plate up. Now we're gonna go with the lowest post and cut the other post off even with the lowest one. I think the lowest one's gonna be at on the end down there, and we'll just go right across and cut all these posts off even once we get all this other stuff out. So I'll bring you back before the day's over, and I'll let you see what all I got done. I'm not recording any of this work, actual work, because it's really just, you know, demolishing stuff. I would have recorded the roof, but I had my mom out here and we was just trying to get it done. You know how sometimes you just want to get stuff done and be done with it. Really wasn't that big a problem. Only thing I wished I had seen where the old lathing was, because most of it went right between my new lathing. I've got holes in my roof. I didn't hit very many of them. I hit a few, but not many. Lots of holes got to be caulked up, I guess. We'll try to see if we can stop them from leaking. Yep. All right, bring it back. All right, everybody. So I'm over here at this corner, and the wall's just bowed out at the top because it's attached to this lathing, and I think it shifted. But I did see some issues that's going to cause a lot more work. You can see we've got termite damage, and of course it's really built up over here around these roots. That's probably about a 2-foot buildup from there to there. But you can see they've already eaten into this wood that I'd put up about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So this ain't old termite damage, this is new termite damage. And these little stink bugs are everywhere out here. It's about 45 degrees today. So I believe this post is going to be fine. Let's see, it's just pulled away. This wall's just pulled away from it. So I'm going to have to rebuild the wall. Well, I knew I was going to have to do that anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I think I'm going to tear down the rest of this wall, at least around this tree, and it'll make it easier to cut these posts off and get everything lined up. Plus I've got to do something with this wood. Some of it's alright, some of it ain't. You can see they've just been building a trail up, and they're eating, I guess this is old pine, and they loving that. They're eating that and eating that other pine. That's what really has got me concerned, is they're eating into the new wall. So this won't hold any structure. So like I was taking out these screws, and anywhere it was screwed in this area, it was just nothing. Some of this old sweet gum right here, this old big plank, it was holding pretty good. and some of that down there was holding all right. But there's a piece of tin down there that's basically holding all this mess in place on these roots. There's nothing I can do with this. It will just take way too long to cut these roots out. So we're just gonna go back the way it was. Unfortunately, it's gonna rot out, there's no doubt. But hopefully the walls will hold a little better. See that wall there, it's buckled. Of course, that's where the tree hit, the limb hit right there, so it buckled that wall. Alright, I'm gonna continue on. I've got most of these rafters off on this side. I'm just working on this end and this wall right here. Alright everybody, it is almost 4 o'clock, so got a good bit done today. That's all been in this one corner, and I'm gonna have to take my door down and undo my electrical. I got a temporary connection right there and to get this panel here off, and then I think before I go home today I'm gonna get that temporary support off up here. This board's right, you know, I guess just nailed on, so everything's cut. This in here didn't really look bad, but unfortunately we nailed the 2 of these sections here. This last section was screwed, and I hadn't got no further from there. But of course we want to go ahead and tear all that off, especially this old wood here. It's rotten up through there. I'm probably going to stop at this next post here with as far as tearing rebuilding this wall. I think the back side, from what I can tell, looks okay so far. You can see the old chicken wire in here. This used to be a quail house. My granddad used to raise quails years ago, and then he had hogs in here before that. The reason the floor's concreted. So looks like the sill plate, these are not concreted in. These are not concreted in. And you can see the sill plate here is a little bit bowed. This floor is not level. And I'm not going to worry about it, because if it rains, if water gets in here, it all runs down to here. And it also runs this way under here. So nothing I can do about that. I'm going to leave that tin where it's at. I'm not going to put siding that far down, because until we do something with this tree, it just ain't going to work. And this really wasn't attached to anything up here in the corner. That's why this wall went out. This pole, it's not as steady as I would like, but it's not bad unsteady, so I think we're going to let it ride. I don't know how much trouble it would be to put a new post in right here. Probably be a real pain to get this one up. Of course, with this not being concrete, cemented in, it wouldn't be that bad. I wouldn't mind going back and cementing these and filling this hole. I got a little hole right here, a little animal hole that needs to be filled in. So I may do something with that. All these studs I can reuse to rebuild this wall, and maybe build it a little better than it was. So tomorrow, hopefully, we're gonna get out here and we'll finish tearing down this sections here, and then we'll jump over and start on the rafters on that side. And of course that wall over there will have to be tore down too, because that sill, the roof won't be as high as that one was there. This has turned into a pretty big job. I was hoping to be able to just re-roof this thing and go on, but since I've took my time and made it look nice and built it strong on this side, I hate not to do it on the rest of the walls. You know, it's just, you know, a few more hundreds of dollars to redo it, make it a little better than it was. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. It's probably a little longer than I expected it to be. Well, thanks for watching, and please rate, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.